just track condition wise. Oh,
This is Zane Goddard. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are you doing talking about this man? He is clearly busy at the moment. Well, this moment really defined the driver. This is where we could see his supercar career unfortunately going in the water. But was it deserved? I don't think so. This is a new series on this channel that I'd be calling Diamonds in the Gravel. Not every driver is a Jamie Whincup, but not every driver is a David Thexton. In between your Lee Holdsworths and Alan Gurus, you've got a special kind of driver. Driver that unfortunately has the combination of loads of talent, but combined with either bad luck, bad equipment, or bad timing. And as we approach the Bathurst 1000, I think this is appropriate timing to start this series up with a driver that I'd like to talk about. Like I said, this is Zane Goddard. And for a driver that has, as we'll go in this video, a squeaky clean driving style and very little retirements, this moment defines the driver. So what does the career of Zane Goddard look like? Well, it starts in 2015. The Australian Formula 4 series has just started up and there are a few bunch of drivers that are looking to get involved. He has a quiet demeanour throughout the whole series, finishes in 9th, which yes, isn't the best when you look at how much full-time drivers there are, but remember, this is year 1 of racing, but he has got ambitious plans to go to Europe. And first year of those ambitious plans looks like a success. He races in the Formula 4 series in the UK, gets 8th in points. When you look at this lineup, very stacked, and when you look at how much he did, very good. He had 4 wins throughout that whole series, decent. And he got 2 poles and double the amount of wins was his podium number. So he jumps to the next step, goes to the Formula Renault Euro Cup. Now the first season of that didn't go to plan, 20th in points, but once again, this is probably as stacked of a lineup as you can get. I'm sure he had plans to keep going in the Europe pathway, but unfortunately he had to take a step back for his own family problems. But he would keep the racing going, just switch it to tin tops. Firstly, he would start racing in the Bathurst 12-hour. He raced in one of those Mark Car Mazda 3s. He would get 4th in class, not bad. Yes, he would have a bit of an issue at the top of the mountain, but that's beside the point. His full-time ambitions though would rest in Super 2. Now Super 2 at this point in 2018 was still stacked. Not like 2020 where you had like 14 cars. This was a good amount of vehicles and good competitive vehicles. He would find a full-time seat in the number 8 car, replacing Andrew Jones, who had stepped back from driving as he wasn't needed as a co-driver. Now, considering this was his first full-time effort into tin top racing, 14th in points isn't a bad thing. He would get 0 DNFs. Now, you always compare yourself to your teammates in these sort of situations, and yes, they did get 10th and 9th in points, but Jack Smith and Macaulay Jones had years more tin top experience than Zane, and he would beat the likes of Adam Mardrum and Bryce Fullwood in the points, so he beat some good blokes that have won championships in the future. 2019, he would stay in Super 2 but make the leap forward to Matt White Motorsports. Now their Nissan Altimas were unbeatable at this point in the championship, and the series finish would show that. 4th in points with 4 early podiums and just consistency throughout the rest of the season. He beat one of his teammates, rookie Tyler Everingham, in points, and once again, 0 DNFs, consistency and keeping the car clean. Like and subscribe if you want me to keep affording to feed my cat. 2020, he would make the leap forward to Supercars, but with a very one-off way of doing so. Do you remember the Super Light program? Neither do I, but it was a one-off thing that they did in 2020 where you could have 2 drivers sharing the campaign and doing half the races each and then combined together for what would be just one race, Bathurst. Now Zane Goddard shared the car with a reoccurring character throughout this whole series, Jake Kostecki. Now how did Zane go? Well, he actually beat Jake Kostecki in points and got a top 10. Very good effort. Yes, it was in that weird SMP race where they had the cleanest dirty shirts race and had the best of the shittiest tyres situation, but 10th in a race is still 10th in a race, especially when it's your rookie year, and the 2020 squad still had Whincup, Van Gisbergen, McLaughlin, all those very good drivers in it. And don't forget, this is the first time Matt Stone Racing went to 2 cars. When you go from 1 car to 2 car, it's a very big leap, especially when it's only your 3rd year in full-time driving, or full-time as a Supercars team. Remember in 2024 when Blanchard went to 2 cars? That was rough. 2021, he would go full-time with Jake Kostecki as his teammate. He would get 20th in points, which, again, not too bad considering where that team was at that point. Yes, Jake Kostecki beat him in the points with a 19th place spot, but Jaden Ojeda, Zane Goddard's co-driver, crashed the car at Bathurst, which lost them a lot of points that year. That was his only DNF in the year, and he got 2 top 10s to show for it, including a best result of 7th. 2022, he would fall off the grid unexpectedly. It was expected that he would continue on because he was doing a decent job keeping the car clean. At that point in his tin top career, he'd only had 1 DNF. That was at Bathurst right at the end of the race. But he would find a good co-driving seat. He would be paired alongside James Courtney in the number 5 Tickford slot and do a bit of S5000 racing in the part-time. He did get a podium in his 2 rounds that he did. In my opinion, I think he should have got the tradie ride instead of Jake Kostecki, but that's what the sponsors probably wanted. The start of the 2022 Bathurst 1000 was a chaotic shit show. The previous day it had rained tremendously, so much so that the top 10 shootout was actually cancelled, and that meant that the Courtney Goddard car started in 8th. Now if you watch my previous video, you probably know how this goes. The first lap of the Bathurst 1000, people were spinning off on the main straight, well, the mountain straight. You had Will Brown's car, Jack Perkins, Jamie Whincup, Zach Best hit the wall in the Castrol car. There was no green flag running really up until lap 5. Now Zane Goddard was probably thinking in the back of his head, he can use this race to get back onto the main game bill. I mean, there's a guy that's in the lead at the moment that did the same thing. But as he passed Greg Murphy, he accidentally locked the brakes and went too deep down the chase. Now he is what people in the know call the pioneer. He doesn't know that the chase is that slippery, but he finds out really quickly, and once he figures it out, it is too late.
Track condition wise, this is an and another huge incident on the exit of the chase. And this is going to be a disaster. Zane Goddard has driven back out on the road with dirty tyres and clean bowl a heap of cars, including Winterbottom.
Hundreds and thousands of dollars are damaged because of this one teeny tiny mistake. But everyone, the commentators, people in the comment section and social medias, rip him a new one. The only people that should justifiably rip him a new one is Dale Wood and Matt Campbell, the 2 drivers, and Heimgardner and Reynolds, the 4 drivers directly involved in this mess. But everyone treating him like he on purposely did it. No, he lost control. Anybody would have done that. He is the pioneer. You saw people going off that part of the track all day. You had the likes of Kostecki, Davison, the charter car. Those guys went off, but they managed to know that that part of the track was that slippery because the 5 machine went first. This unfortunately killed any chance of a full-time drive in 2023, but he did manage to find not a bad co-drive. He was picked up as the AAA wildcard. People really raised an eyebrow at this, like why would they do this? And he kept it clean. He didn't show tons of speed. He did get a 10th at Sandown with Craig Lowndes, and he was the first one of the AAA wildcard cars to actually get solo starts at Darwin. So he kept it clean, but unfortunately nothing was there for 2024, and he would step away from racing. He has done the one-off race here and there in minis, but he has not retired, but stepped back a bit. So what can we take out of Zane? Well, I think he deserves to be racing somewhere. Aside from this and the end of the Bathurst 1000 in 2020, he kept it clean literally throughout his whole tin top Supercars career, with 2 retirements, both in Bathurst 1000s. If he was going to come back to motorsport and racing on a somewhat full-time basis, there is one race that I'd like to see him in an X-Class car BMW at the Bathurst 6 Hour. A race that focuses on reliability and consistency. With his finishing record, that is up his wheelhouse. Plus he can hopefully get some Bathurst redemption with a class podium, and if it's in an X-Class car, outright stuff. But what do you think about the Zaniac's career? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. My last video did honestly better than I thought it was going to do. Leave a like and a subscribe so it gives me more motivation to do this sort of stuff, and comment down below who you would like to see in the next part of this series. I'd like to keep it going, and subscribe for the next video, whatever that is. Not everybody is a Jamie Whincup in this world, but at the same time, not everybody is a David Thexton. Stuck in between your Lee Holdsworths and Alan Gers of this world are drivers with an unfortunate combination. Combination of exceptional talent combined with bad timing, car performance, or just bad luck. They are the diamonds in the gravel.